Revenge, 2017. This is Coralie Faget's debut film, and it scored 92% on Tomatometer and 61% on the popcorn cometer, which I gather probably isn't IMDb. It's probably just the more popular side of the tomato scoring system. Don't know, haven't explored it, but it's definitely a really good film, very interesting. And when I saw this in the cinema, I've although I don't like horror, I've explained that quite often. It's it it it's worthwhile, I felt, because it is quite a groundbreaking film. Coralie Faget went on to do The Substance, which I also think is a great film, but I think in a way, this film really, um I hadn't really seen anything quite like it. I mean, I guess there are films that are more, um, sort of that kind of revenge films. I gather there are. I've not actually seen them, and I need to explore that at some point. But the story effectively is a woman, her name is Jen, played by Matilda Lutz. She, goes out to a secluded desert location with her partner, and her partner is actually a married man, so she's a mistress. Um, his name is Richard, Kevin Jansen. And, they have a weekend to themselves and things go smoothly, it seems. You know, fairly okay. Um, but then, something goes wrong because I think Richard doesn't want Jen to meet his friends, and his friends turn up either early or she she leaves late, one particular morning, and she just, is in, um, in the, sort of apartment. It's like this really it's in the middle of a desert, it's miles from anywhere, and, suddenly, uh, a man appears with an AK-47, and that scares her a bit when she sees him, and is then reassured that at least he's a friend of Richard. His name is I think his name's Stan, Vincent Colomb. And then another man, played by Guillaume Bouchede, turns up. His name is Dimitri, and, so there's, like since they've all met Jen, she seems to get on okay with them and with Richard. But then when Richard goes away or something, he's outside the flat or apartment. Um, Stan takes advantage of the situation, and this is where things get really out of hand. Um, he attacks Jen or, attempts I don't know if he actually he, uh, does assault her, and that's shown, I think, quite carefully, and this is like, I wasn't quite really sure what happens, but it's obviously not good what happens, and it leaves her terrified, and quite understandably, she gets quite angry, and she gets threatening towards Richard, and she threatens Richard that she's going to tell his wife about the affair. And then the dynamic completely changes, suddenly becomes really hostile, and she realizes she's on her own, and she is on her own. There's nowhere to go. She runs and runs across the desert, runs for her life, and she comes across this precipice. There's no way out. She's really stuck. These three men find her absolutely terrifying. And then thing is, Richard pushes her off the cliff, um, and leaves her for dead. I mean, effectively murders her, except she survives. She lands on a tree. She gets impaled by the tree, and this is where the first really grim element of this film comes. There's a couple other bits. There's something about uh, a beetle or some sort of animal that's got a drug, and one of the guys has brought it because they're going to get some hallucinogenic pleasure out of it. I mean, this is a recurring theme in films I've been seeing recently because I mean, I saw Queer 2024 a few months ago, where um, Daniel, uh, um, the what was it? Oh gosh, I was trying to think. Oh, ayahuasca. There's this scene of where they go to a jungle, and again it's a slightly terrifying scene. There's that scene now. I've seen other films with hallucinogenic animals. I mean, the most recent, I won't say what the name of the film because I don't want to give it as a spoiler, but so I won't say the name of the film, but it really cracked me up because the actual hallucinogenic element of the film was ordering food in the Subway bar. So that was a comedy film. But in this film, um, the the beetle, I think it's a beetle, has, some supernatural powers. It is like it gives, an amazing strength, and, there are beetles like that. Jen has asked if she could try it, and the guys flatly refuse, and, um she gets, kind of bitten by, as far as from what I gather, having observed this film, she gets bitten by this beetle, and it gives her supernatural strength and an ability to, recover well from actually, what looks like absolutely terrible fall. And this kind of fall happened before I broke my back, and I know what excruciating pain is like when you break a bone in your back, and it is absolutely terrifying because you don't know if you're going to be able to walk again. There's several elements about it, and one thing about it, um, there's an element of escapism as well. I mean, there's anger, there's revenge, it's really strong. There's the supernatural element, there's escapism, and it's all combined, and it is really palpable. And I could really feel this from this film, that sense of anger where someone who you trusted has betrayed you completely to the point where they've attempted to murder you. Um, and, you know, at that point, what would you do? Well, you can imagine how the film might play out after this, and I won't say what exactly happens, except it gets there's some, um, pretty gripping, edge of the seat scenes, I mean, Jen is, um when they find that she's not stuck on this tree, I think they see that she's landed on in a absolutely horrific way, impaled on this tree stump of this piece of tree, and it's just, oh my gosh. I mean, I knew it couldn't be the end of the film. It only just, you know, it's only a little way into a 137-minute long film, and, um, I thought, "Well, it's gonna carry on, and presumably the title's revenge, she's going to somehow survive." And that's where this little, beetle with its supernatural drug come into play. But of course, these 3 murderous guys check look over the cliff and spot she's missing at some later stage. And then, of course, they go out in their hunting vehicles. I mean, the, 2 guys who've come, so Stan and Dimitri, they've come over to Richard's place, to his bolt hole in the desert, go on a hunting expedition for hunting animals. But now, um, they're hunting the woman who they know is gonna be after them, and it is just like full on battle of the sexes, absolutely, life or death. And this is why I absolutely love the film, because it's cathartic in a sense, because anyone who's ever felt really scared of the way, men behave, you may get the idea of why, just escaping into a film like this where you can actually imagine it's like a superhero film in a sense, and because it also goes from the early part of this film, which is kind of like male gaze style, it's like, um, explaining explaining that, the male gaze, it's like, uh, it's a concept I think Laura Mulvey came up with it in the 1970s, about 1975. There's some other, um, essays, stuff like that, started in the '70s that explain how, uh, women are seen from a cis straight man's point of view and objectified, made into sex objects. I mean, that is like it is really awful, but that is the situation, and it's even worse often with, more marginalized women. I mean, for a start with, uh, black women, um, there's often very skew views and, um, many other marginalized groups. I mean, uh I don't know, I haven't seen it covered, but trans women, I'd imagine, would, similarly be seen as a threat because one of the aspects of the male gaze is and the objectification is, the fear of castration, and that's with seeing, cis women, um, without a penis, but given that, many trans women are in that situation post-operatively, that's even that's even more of a manifestation in some respects. But I don't know, I've not seen that explored, but I can imagine that is a possible angle. Um, but that is a little bit of a tangent from this this story. But it does give it an LGBTQIA plus angle, which I think could be explored in other films that feature the male gaze, the female gaze, other all round, gaze and gazing. I mean, I don't really know why the word gaze is used. So there's a lot I need to understand about it, read about it further. But this film is it's very gory, as I explained. There is copious amounts of blood. Um, I read something very soon, straight after seeing the film first time. I remember actually showing the trailer to a friend, and she was gasping just at the trailer. And the trailer is not bloody in the sense that the film is, but I explained a bit about of how the film goes, and I don't think it was her cup of tea. So she's never watched it. I don't think I'll be able to persuade her to watch it because of its, visceral nature. Um, and I think I'd only want to see it when I'm in a particular mood because it is really heavy going. They use so much blood in some of the, scenes later on in the 3rd act that, um, they ran out. I just think, "Wow, what an absolute, um" I can imagine making that film. I mean, I'd really like to see the making of. That might help to see that. But I would certainly score this, um, 9 out of 10. It's like one of those films that I saw it, um, over 7 years ago in Picture House Central, and it stayed with me. It's one of those standout films from the last decade. I know I talked recently on Richard Spur's show about films that stay in my mind, and I explained why I thought this film just stands out. Um, 'Cause, it had several elements that I found so uncomfortable, like all the blood, like, the absolute abject terror, but at the same time it's cathartic as well. It's it's a curious blend, but I think it's genius filmmaking. So, um, 9 out of 10. I'd love to know what you think if you've seen this film. Um, please like if you like this review. Um, um, thanks if you subscribe. Please hit the notification button, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.